Hello, scholars. How are you? I hope you all are fine. So, welcome back in this new video. Today, I'll teach you few general questions. Okay, let's start. The first question is, how are you? Okay, the first question is, how are you? So, in return, what do you have to say? You have to say, I am fine, thank you. Repeat after me. I am fine, thank you. If anybody asks you, how are you? Then you have to say, I am fine, thank you. Okay? Now the next question. What is your name? Again I'll repeat. What is your name? Then what you have to do? You have to say, my name is. My name is. Suppose your name is Ram. So you have to say, my name is Ram. Or if your name is Tina, then you have to say, my name is Tina. I hope you have understood, scholars. So if anybody asks you, what is your name? Then you have to say, my name is. Okay, then you have to tell your name. Now the next question is, how old are you? How old are you? Then you have to say, I am 4 years old. If you are 4 years old, then you will say 4 years old. And if you are 5 years old, then you can say, I am 5 years old. Again, I'll ask you, how old are you? Then scholars, repeat after me. I am 4 years old. Say again, I am 4 years old. Now, next question. In which class do you study? I repeat, in which class do you study? Then you will say, I study in Mont 2. Which class? I study in Mont 2. Repeat one more time. I study in Mont 2. In which class do you study? I study in Mont 2. Okay? Now the next question. What is your father's name? What is your father's name? Here you have to say your father's name. So first what you will say? My father's name is. My father's name is Mr. First you will add Mr. Then you will tell your father's name. Suppose if your father's name is Arvind Kumar. So what you will say? My father's name is Mr. Arvind Kumar. Again I'll repeat. My father's name is Mr. Arvind Kumar. And it is important to add Mr. Before you say your father's name, you have to say Mr. Okay? Again I'll ask, what is your father's name? Then what will be your answer? Right. My father's name is, and you have to tell your father's name, Mr. whatever your father name is. Now the next question. What is your mother's name? Here you have to tell your mother's name. The question is, what is your mother's name? Then what you will say, scholars? My mother's name is Mrs. Suppose your mother's name is Seema Kumar. So you will say, my mother's name is Mrs. Seema Kumar. As you have added Mr. before your father's name, likewise you have to add Mrs. before your mother's name. And before you tell your mother's name, you have to add Mrs. Once again, I'll teach you what is your mother's name. Then you will say, my mother's name is Mrs. and tell your mother's name after adding Mrs. Okay, now the next question is, what is your school's name? I repeat, what is your school's name? Then scholars, what you will say? My school's name is Greatmen International School, Sagar. What you will say? My school's name is Greatmen International School. Again I'll ask, what is your school's name? Then what you will say? My school's name is Greatmen International School. Okay? Repeat one more time. My school's name is Greatmen International School. Okay. Now, the last question. Where do you live? Where do you live? Okay, if anybody asks, where do you live? Then you will say, I live in Sagar. Okay, what you will say? I live in Sagar. Again I'll ask, where do you live? I live in Sagar. Or if you live in Macronia, then you can say, I live in Macronia. Okay, now scholars, I hope you all have learned all these questions. Okay, now scholars, again I'll repeat all the questions and you will repeat with me. Let's start. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Then you have to say, I am fine, thank you. I am fine, thank you. Again, hello, how are you? Then scholars, what will be your answer? I am fine, thank you. Okay. I am fine, thank you. Next is, what is your name? What is your name? Then you will say, my name is and tell your name. Next, how old are you? How old are you? Your answer will be, I am 4 years old or I am 5 years old. Again I'll ask, how old are you? Your answer will be, I am 4 years old or I am 5 years old. Next question is, what is your father's name? What is your father's name? Then you have to say, my father's name is father's name is My father's name is Mr. And then you tell your father's name. Next question. What is your mother's name? What is your mother's name? What you will say? My mother's name is My mother's name is Mrs. And then you will tell your mother's name. Now we move on to our next question. That is, in which class do you study? In which class do you study? And what you will say? I study in Mont 2. I study in Mont 2. Then, what is your school's name? What is your school's name? And what you will say, scholars? My school's name is Greatmen International School. My school's name is Greatmen International School. Now the last one. Where do you live? Where do you live? All of you say, I live in Sagar, or I live in Macronia. Okay, scholars, now you have to learn these general questions and I hope you have understood what I have taught you today. And before winding, let's revise our previous topic. Previously, I have taught you one rhyme. Yes, and what is the name of the rhyme? Correct, the cat. Let's start. The name of the rhyme is The Cat. Here's a little cat, looking fine and fat. Here's a little cat, looking fine and fat, sitting on a mat, playing with a hat. Sitting on a mat, playing with a hat. Give the cat a pet. Give the cat a pet. She'll be pleased with that. She'll be pleased with that. Again, the cat. Here's a little cat, looking fine and fat, sitting on a mat, playing with a hat. Give the cat a pat. She'll be pleased with that. Okay, scholars, now learn this rhyme and the general questions which I have taught you in today's video. And till then, you stay home and stay safe. I'll see you in my next video. Take care.